Hey everybody, Mike from Hyperspace Props here. Today I've got a piece of Sabacc history. This is the very first playable Sabacc inside this RPG game called Crisis on Cloud City. Came out in 1989, and I'm gonna let you know how you can win your own copy of this booklet and the Sabacc cards inside. The RPG game itself apparently is a pretty fun RPG game. I haven't played it, but it follows the story of Walex Blissix, who you might know is this guy right here. No, not that guy, right? Obviously, everyone knows that guy. So Walex Blissix in the Star Wars canon was originally an Imperial Star Destroyer engineer, and he designed the Cantwell class cruiser. His middle name is Cantwell, if you weren't familiar. Walex Cantwell Blissix. It's quite the mouthful. But he designed the Cantwell class cruiser that you see in Andor right here. So basically, the story of the RPG is he defected from the Empire to join the rebellion, and he heads to Cloud City with some rebel operatives, to try and secure a new droid technology. And there's a few other Easter eggs and fun stuff that you can learn about if you play it. Apparently it's pretty fun. I've never played it, but it sounds like an interesting and fun story. Inside the booklet, you get your regular RPG play information. You get some backgrounds, you get some images, you get all the stats of everybody. But the funnest part is during the RPG, you have the option to play Sabacc and try and win Sabacc. So inside, and this is why this game is so highly sought after, if you can find one with, first off, the Sabacc insert. So this is just a loose insert that has gotten lost in most copies. And this one is in excellent condition, but it has all the rules. And then the second thing, the most coveted piece of it, are the actual Sabacc cards. So this one right here, the one I'm giving away, has a few that have already been punched out. Not by me. The person who owned it, I'm assuming originally, punched out some of them. But the other ones are in full sheets. So there's the back design, and then here's the front design. So just like our what I would call modern traditional, this is a 76 card deck. And like I said, each one is like a little perforated, so you have to like kind of punch them out. I wanted to go over some of the interesting rules. This was, again, the very first original Sabacc, and it had quite a few problems, and it was very complex. So I want to kind of go through some of the different changes that have kind of been made throughout the years to make it more streamlined. And as it's like moved through different novelizations, we can see kind of how it has changed and been updated. So like I said, there's still 76 cards, the original 4 suits, sabers, staves, flasks, and coins. And there's still 2 pots, the hand pot and the Sabacc pot. One interesting thing about the pot that I thought was probably a good idea that might be useful in other Sabacc games was that you always pay your ante into the hand pot, but if the Sabacc pot is empty, meaning someone has won it, then you pay a second ante into the Sabacc pot. So that means in the first hand, you would pay 2 antes into the pots, 1 into hand, 1 into Sabacc. And when someone has won the Sabacc pot, then you'll pay an additional ante to the Sabacc pot. So 1 to the hand pot, 1 to the Sabacc pot. I thought that was a fun idea, just to keep always something in the Sabacc pot and always something in the hand pot. Usually when Emily and I play, we play with a blind, so we usually don't ante into the hand pot, we usually ante into the Sabacc pot. And so that kind of solves the problem already. So there are 4 phases in the original traditional Sabacc: the betting phase, the shifting phase, the calling phase, and the drawing phase. And so you'll see as we go through the phases, there's some really interesting differences. The betting rules have some interesting betting house rules. There's a limit to raising, to where the most you can raise is 3 credits. They just have individual tokens of 1 credit each, and so the highest stakes that you can raise is 3. With the shifting phase, it is completely different. So this is before the actual shift dice were used in Sabacc. They were aware that in the original Sabacc, there were electronic cards that swapped everything, so they tried to do something similar with a D6. So basically, whenever it was your turn and you got to the shifting phase, you would roll the D6, and then if you rolled a 1, 2, or 3, then it would shift. And then the way the shift worked would be each player would have one card randomly taken out of their hand, discarded, and then all of those would be pooled together. The dealer would shuffle them, and then you'd have a small deck of cards, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards, something like that. And then starting with the person to the left of the dealer, they would draw one of the cards. And so you'd be shifting amongst yourselves one of the cards. Really interesting and maybe a fun mechanic. It would be interesting to see if we did something similar with just one of the dice and then kept the Kessel Sabacc values 1, 2, and 3. And then when you roll, if you get the 1, 2, and 3, try and do this old style Cloud City shift is kind of what I'm calling it. So the next phase is the calling phase. This is where you can call the game if you want to. Basically, it just goes around and everyone has a chance to say they call the game. And this is after the shifting phase, but before the draw phase, interestingly enough. So they kind of swap it up. But the shift phase is not as brutal as it is in, I guess, modern traditional, and of course definitely nowhere as near as brutal as it is in Corellian Spike. So after the calling phase, then you have the drawing phase. And the drawing phase is no different than in modern traditional Sabacc, where you always, you've always have to have at least your 2 cards, and then you can draw or you can kind of swap out cards. Similarly, there's also the bomb out rule. If you're over 23, under -23, or exactly 0, you need to pay a penalty to the Sabacc pot. And then I think the very last thing that is fun and of note is that in the specialty hands category, there is, of course, exactly 23, which is called pure Sabacc. But then there's also the Idiot's Array, the literal 23, 0, 2, 3. But there isn't the Fairy Empress, which is the 2 -22s. So it's interesting to see where this playable version originally started out and how over kind of the course of decades at this point, but also all the different novelizations, the different authors who have talked about Sabacc, and how it's kind of morphed throughout the years. So if you're interested in winning this exact copy, so it comes with the booklet, the Sabacc insert, it also has the rules upgrade insert for the RPG game. So it's fully complete. And then it's got a few of the cards pre-punched, and then one half sheet in perfect condition, and then the other sheet has some creasing, 2 crease spots, one right here and the other one over here. It's pretty close to in mint condition. It's in very good condition, great for a collection piece, or it would be fun to even pull these out and punch them out and play Sabacc with them. I also thought it might be a fun idea to recreate these on the printer, like business card things that you can get that are also cardstock that have the perforated edges. They'd probably be, I think, a little bit longer, but you could still get the same feel of playing with the old punch-out cards. And so if you're interested in that, I can definitely design it and then make it available, and then you can like buy the different printer paper so that you can punch them out. Let me know. But to win this, all you need to do is just comment down below and then make sure you're subscribed. On Monday, so that'll be in 4 or 5 days, something like that, Monday, December 2nd, 2024, I will be drawing a winner, and I'll just pick from the comments, a random comment, and then I'll just reply to you and say, hey, email us, send us your address, and then we can figure out shipping and everything. But a really cool piece, so much fun. I've been so excited to add this one to my collection. I've been hunting for a sealed one. It's been really difficult to find. They're not too expensive, which is really nice. So you might even be able to find better sets on eBay. But it's been super fun to read a lot about original traditional sabacc and see how it's changed and the fun nuances. And I think maybe I'm going to start playing with some of the rules, and we'll have maybe a traditional subvariant called Cloud City Traditional. So I hope you enjoyed this and wish you luck in winning, and have a great day.